Hold
What I
on.
would always run into is I could never see my streams.
I have it up on YouTube, which means it's probably going to do the feedback thing. Hold
What I
on.
would always run into is I could never
I think I
see
got
my
it.
streams.
Yes, we're
Hmm?
live. I have it up on YouTube.
Perfect.
Okay, so we can start. Oh, welcome back. I'm doing this again. If there's background noise, that is my daughter Claire, who is giggling a lot while playing something in Roblox. Um, Sorry about that. But I'm here today with Casey Kramer, and I will let Casey introduce himself.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my imaginary fictional home, everyone's favorite MMO. I've been playing Lotro for 13 years, writing for even more. I did my master's degree in fantasy literature from the University of Glasgow, and I'll be starting a Master of Fine Arts in Creative Writing at Ashland University sometime next year. I primarily write fantasy and diesel punk space opera and tabletop RPG content, primarily for the Genesis system and Legend in the Mist.
Awesome, and I do want to talk TTRPGs for you later because I saw that on your thing and I was kind of excited.
Yes, yes, it's a very different kind of writing style.
All right, so we've decided that for our quest today, we are going to try to find Tom Bombadil's house. Not that we don't know where it is, but I'm sure we've both been there multiple times. But
So many.
in game, this is our characters setting out to meet Tom Bombadil. So I guess we move.
Yeah.
So I guess we could just start in with the tabletops. I have been trying to get into that a little bit. I started playing D&D. I think I'm doing a 5e version. That's what my DM did, but it's a little bit, homebrewed. And I started playing, I'd say, 3 or 4 years ago, and then I started trying to write them, and it is so much fun, but it is different from fiction writing in a lot of ways.
Yes, it's huge difference because you also what type of stuff do you write? Do you do the campaign or like the settings?
I do a little bit of all of it. I've been doing a from scratch campaign and setting based around the fearsome critters of the Lumberwoods American folklore for about 2 years now.
Okay.
That's kind of my passion project. But I'm not very good at the math and the systems, but I'm pretty good at just making up random stuff that'll happen to people.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's I've definitely found to be one of the more challenging things with writing for RPGs is it's not like a story. It's more like trying to write an improv sketch.
Because you don't know where it's going to go. Like I swear, like I could put like 3 really great options for something to do in front of my players, and instead they just end up drinking and falling down a well.
Yes, absolutely. I once did a really neat intrigue style setup, kind of like a mysterious secret society, conspiracies in my like post-Roman fairy setting, and the players completely skipped the entire storyline.
Yeah, they tend to do that. I think we're gonna have to walk it because on this character I don't have any of the perks, and because I just started her,
Right.
and she is losing to your horse. Either that or it's just because she's short. 'Cause I rolled a short one.
Uh, for some reason, I have a speed buff, and I don't know where I'm getting it from.
Oh, that's why you're outpacing me.
What do you need?
Yes, and I don't know. It looks like the hunters find the path icon, but that doesn't make any sense. Let me
Fleet
see.
footed, movement speed, out of combat run speed. I don't know.
I just set myself to follow, so I should stay behind you this way.
I still, this game, I know it's dated, but it's still one of the prettiest games I think I've ever played.
It it is, especially with the new 64-bit, like the skybox, insane.
But anyway, yeah, so when you're writing, do you try to come up with like scenarios that happen if your players like if they zig, you're ready for it, or do you just like try to come up with a setting and then just let them sandbox it? What's your philosophy?
I kind of combine the two because I kind of create a vague overview of the setting and stuff, and then like the big context, like the overarching plot line that they will be doing stuff within. And then I just kind of wing it. And I do a lot with their backstory and any of the NPCs they create. And then I kind of let them be the ones to dictate what they want to do. And I'll have like a few key points, like big narrative moments that I will either include when it feels appropriate, or I'll set up and kind of let them decide what they want to do and then just slot it in wherever. So I don't actually write the stuff out. It's more like this thing will need to happen. And when it feels right, I'll see how I can stick it in.
Yeah, I think that's one thing about TTRPGs is that you need that flexibility. Like, you can't really outline and plot a TTRPG unless you really want to railroad hard.
Right, exactly. That's why I'm going faster. Never mind. That should fix it.
I wonder if we can take on that bear. It's a little out leveled from us, but I kind of want to take on that bear.
It's only 15. Let me see if I can.
Dead bear.
Well,
Not bad.
that was easy.
Yeah, I find that like almost all the characters they are pretty quick to kill stuff in this game.
It didn't used to be the case. It used to be like orange like that would be rough.
See, that's red for me. I was kind of surprised I could hit it.
Oh yeah, because we're 2 levels apart. That makes sense. Love me some shouty boys.
I love playing. Right now I've been leveling up a minstrel, and she just yells at things, and it's hilarious. But yeah, I love playing hobbits.
Yeah, they're cool. For the longest time, my go-to has always been captain, and then like for ages, it was only humans could be captains. So
yeah, I like to play casters, and that kind of railroads me to playing human or elf. But I if I have my choice of things, it's like river hobbits get to be lore masters, so that made me happy. So
that's good. My river hobbit's on a different server, is a hunter, and I used some of the festival stuff. I don't remember which festival it was though, but it has like the horned leafy mask helmet. So I kind of went with that vibe, like one of the wild roses of the forests, like kind of this mysterious little people in the woods.
So where are your TTRPGs published through?
My 5e adventure is published through the DM's Guild. And then my main one is the Dieselpunk space opera setting, and that one is currently a Google Doc that's kind of just out there. Because it's kind of just a primer introduction.
Is it free to download then?
Yeah. Yep. It's literally just a Google document. Anybody can look at it. It uses the Genesis system, so people will need Genesis to play it. But anybody can look at it.
And just for anyone who's listening, there are links in the description for this, and I believe that is linked there on the site.
The setting might not be, actually.
Oh, but... yeah. Okay. I was going to let people know where they could find it if they want it, but yeah. If you want to drop that in a comment or a link later, we can also do that, if you want to. And here we are at...
Yes. I always keep forgetting that they added the Dockmasters in.
I almost never use them. Like I feel like I should do more with them, but it's kind of they're kind of cool idea.
Yeah, I mean, we're not even close to level enough to use the boats yet. So.
I love the Shire and the Hobbit. I've got my housing sent to Hobbit right now for all my characters. It's my favorite.
Nice. I do really like the Shire in this game. I don't enjoy playing the Hobbits quite so much, but I do like kind of being in the Shire.
See, I'm a fairly average height woman. I'm 5'4", which is average, but I'm married to a 6'5" guy, so I just always feel like a little gnome my whole life, so it's just appropriate.
That makes sense. Let's see. Master Brandybuck.
A lovely day, isn't it?
All right, we're going into the old forest.
Yes. Am I going to remember how to navigate? Probably not.
I always get lost. It's such a maze in there, but that makes it a fun challenge for this one because we're gonna have to not run into the trees, the tree walls.
Yes.
So, other than TTRPG, I noticed you have a few short stories out. Do you prefer writing short fiction to long fiction, or is it just I find it's a nice break between bigger projects for me personally.
I do like short fiction because I can reliably finish it. Long works, I kind of get lost in the scope creep and the endless cycle of starting over all the time. So I'm more inclined towards long fiction, but the nice thing about short works is when you get a contract, it could be like a 90-day deadline. So it's like, I think the one, Sophia Sorrento story, I wrote, edited, revised, and submitted it in under 3 months because that was the contract deadline. And then the God King's Tomb and the other one, I think I did it in less than a month.
I think we're going towards a dead end here, looking at my map.
It looks like it.
Let's sneak back around. Hope we don't see any evil trees.
Mm-hmm. I think if we can find the river.
Yeah, I think
okay.
If we go down and then up the river, it's kind of this direction.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I didn't miss it. It's right ahead.
Yes. Bonfire Glade. For a while, early when I started playing, I did think that they actually had the map move around.
It really feels like that sometimes. I think this is a really good map design because there's a lot of passages that feel like they're going somewhere and then they just dead end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So your longer piece that you're working on, one thing I noticed that it was kind of interesting to me because I do my superhero stuff, right? And that's it's a multi-generational thing at this point, which I noticed yours is also multi-generational.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. It is.
And we don't see a ton of that. There is some, but it's not as common or popular.
Yes. That's part of what inspired the story, actually, was I work in libraries normally, and so I wrote the old, when multi-general sagas were the thing from, I don't know, what was that, the 80s, the 90s? I'm like, oh, wow, we don't see these very often anymore, other than, Ken Follett sometimes, Yagiyasi, one or two others that I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's almost always realistic fiction. and very few people have ever applied it to speculative fiction. So I kind of wanted to explore that.
It's kind of strange that they haven't, because if you think about it in the terms of like epic fantasy and the scope of those worlds, it really kind of leads into it. I mean, it's all about, it can be about bloodlines, it can be about multi-generational curses. Those are all things I associate with fantasy.
Right, exactly. It's set up so well for it, especially if you have longer lived characters and shorter lived ones. I mean, I guess technically you can say Lord of the Rings is multi-generational because Bilbo and Frodo.
I mean, if you take the Silmarillion into account, we definitely is.
Yeah, yeah, that is a big one as well. I mean, really, the whole thing is because Aragorn's umpteenth great grandparents are in it and their families. And it's kind of like one. It's almost like there's two parallel generations. You have the Aragorn line, and then you have the hobbits.
Yeah, and then even like it's kind of weird because like Elrond and Elros, you end up with the Numenorians and the elves, and one generation is just like Elrond, Arwen, and his twins, and then the other one is like multi generation.
Yes, yeah, and it's like wow, there's like 20 generations here between the two, which I guess helps if make sense of the fact that Arwen and Arwen and Aragorn would technically be cousins otherwise.
Yeah, it's a lot of removal between those cousinships. So I don't know what, like it's like 20th cousin.
I think so. It's, I think it's like. hmm, I think it's longer than our real life recorded history between Elrond, Elros, and then Aragorn.
All right, I think we need to go this way. I'm gonna try to avoid those bears. They might come after us anyway.
Yeah, probably. Oh, look, a tater. Does the
Yay.
River Hobbit like want a tater?
She'll take a tater. She can boil it, mash it, put in a stew later. Okay.
Excellent.
There we go. Bats, evil bats.
That's the wolves, and we haven't even seen spiders.
The spiders are mostly in that one little corner down there. So you mentioned, I'm just kind of backtrack. You've got Diesel Punk. Which is is the saga more epic fantasy, or is that more in your Diesel Punk stuff?
Yeah, so the multi-generational saga is fantasy. Um, I guess it's technically epic fantasy, given the scope and stuff, but I'm really trying to approach it more like a historical fiction. The Diesel Punk, I call it a future history, kind of pulling from the old school space operas. Paul Anderson, Andre Norton, a lot of those kind of classic writers called their stuff future history, but not that one is not multi-generational or anything.
So do you have a preference? Like, is epic fantasy your favorite go-to? Like, if you were picking out something to read, or do you like the more, like, Diesel Punk is a fairly, I want to say, niche genre comparatively?
It's so niche. It's painful. It is very niche. I wouldn't say necessarily. Oh look, there's a spider. That I have a go-to. Like my short stories published are both new pulp. They both take place in the one takes place in the 1930s, the other's in the 1940s during World War II. So that kind of leans into the Diesel Punk vibe. But a lot of my big projects are all fantasy in nature, which is kind of an interesting contrast.
Yeah, I have a kind of a love-hate relationship with epic fantasy, because I started on epic fantasy for like the thing that really set me off as somebody who really wanted to write was epic fantasy.
Right.
But I don't like most epic fantasy.
Okay, that's what I keep running into as well. Is yes, a lot of it are like, oh, okay, cool. We get to redo it. I love reading the same story for the 15th time.
Yeah, and I'm very much I'm a character reader. I like small personal stories, and I think that can kind of get lost in some of like the massive like mechanizations of epic fantasy scope stories. Um,
Hmm.
I like a small scope story, and I think that's one of the reasons I came back to Lord of the Rings over and over is it's kind of caged around the smaller things, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't have a bajillion viewpoint characters, and okay, it does have timeline jumps, but that's because we never. Oh, how do you describe that? Because a lot of chapters are just characters telling what already happened.
Yeah, and I that is one thing I took away from Tolkien in my own writing, which is probably not the better. I will have so many chapters that are just characters talking. I love it when a character sits down and tells another character a story for a long time. I don't think that's really popular now, but I took that from him, and like it's one of my favorite kinds of chapters. My favorite chapter in all of Lord of the Rings is the Council of Elrond.
Yes, that one is a good one. And it's funny you mentioned characters sitting down and telling a story, because that is. And this is. No, yeah, we're still on the right way. Yes, there it is. Because that's kind of how I'm structuring the saga. Is I'm pulling a lot of the structure and the tone, um, and what language I can. Oh dear, the river hobbit has drowned.
I'm drowning.
Where's the river lady?
Should be right. There's Tom.
Yep, there's Tom Bombadil. There's his yellow boots, his hat with a feather.
So this is probably the most controversial thing I'll get into today. Did you watch Rings of Power?
I tried.
I'm one of the few people who really likes it. But Tom Bombadil in season two, really fun. My daughter was watching it with me. She's like, when are we going to get back to that guy?
That's cool. I'm glad they put him in there. He should have been in the movies, but it's fine.
Yeah, that's the missed opportunity of Tom Bombadil. I love this little house. I would live here.
Yes, it's amazing. Like, just like the detail they put into it. Like, here's all the cloaks on the cloak hooks,
The food on the tables.
the bowls full of river lilies. Here's the bathroom. Nope, this is the kitchen.
There's a couple rooms you can't get into here, so I'm assuming the bathroom and like the guest chambers are upstairs where it's blocked off.
That's my guess. It's like a mix between the Hobbit homes you can get and the Elven ones. It's a really neat combination.
Yeah, they did put a lot into all the zones in here. They all have their own different feel. Like, there's none of them that feel like that you're just repeating.
Yeah.
Well, let's go head up to the Barrow Downs and see some evil undead creature things.
Yeah. Get the Skelly boys.
So, how many generations are there in your multi-generational saga?
Um, Currently I am at 5. And I think I might leave it there. Because basically every generation is a set of twin sisters. And each twin sister has twins, and that's a lot of math.
That does start adding up really quick. So, this is the thing I've come up with my superhero series is it involves way more math than I thought it would because I'm trying to keep the timeline accurate, and like I'm constantly having to go back in and fix people's birth dates or their details.
Yeah. Yeah.
We went the
I think
wrong
we
way.
went the wrong way, yeah. Fortunately, this one I'm pulling very heavily from the Volsunga as the inspiration and kind of a foundation basis. And like the whole thing is being structured as an oral tradition being written down.
So you don't have to like be super accurate with the dates because they're probably going to be poetic about them anyway.
Yes, they absolutely are. It's also very much inspired by the migration era. So the main villain is kind of a necromancery, not really necromancery, sorceress. Attila
So is
so
it
Attila
based on like more like indigenous like cultures or?
Yes, a lot of it's based on what little we know of like the Proto-Germanic people, the Proto-Scandinavians, um, fourth and fifth century late antiquity, people who show up in the Roman Empire. Basically, they're people who later invade the Roman Empire, and it's kind of from their perspective rather than the Roman Empire equivalent.
Does it have dodecahedrons?
It might.
You know about those, the like the mystery dodecahedrons that show up in like Gaul and Britain.
Yeah, yeah, the ones where people say it's for knitting and crochet, but no one's quite been able to prove it yet.
Yeah, that's one of the theories. I've been I get pulled down a rabbit hole of that's one of my favorite things to just watch people who have theories on. The other one's Voynich manuscript, which is another like deep dive I like to get into sometimes.
That one is fascinating. Um, I have that one tucked away for whenever I return to kind of the more pulp thriller stuff. So I have some stuff that's kind of inspired by Clive Cussler. So some of the stuff I've come up with there is like the Voynich manuscript, the Glastonbury Cross, kind of these old things that don't quite make sense.
So I love that kind of like we're going back now we're going to backtrack to CTRPG. I love crafting puzzles and stuff out of that and codes, and that is one of the things I really get into. I have a couple players who just adore that kind of stuff. Is that something you incorporate at all?
Not a ton. I do not like puzzles. Riddles, great. Vague and confusing prophecies, perfect.
He's
Trying
might
to
kill
make
us. That guy's he's purple, and I'm looking at him like I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, they're like level 19 and level 20. But
Maybe we should go and like try to find Bag End or something instead.
yeah, that's not a bad idea.
This level 21 is looking at us like, what are you doing here?
Making core life decisions.
Obviously.
What I always ended up finding with puzzles was it doesn't matter how good the character's intelligence is, if the players can't figure it out, it's not really a good time.
Yeah, there's that balance. It has to be something that is complicated enough that they're not just like bulldozing through it, but then also easy enough that they're not going to spend all night on it. And I think what I like is sometimes when there's a trick to them, it's like if the character just decides that they want to, if they can spend a while on the puzzle lock, but if they can use the random artifact I give them that like makes holes in things instead, then I'll just go with that.
Right.
I like things that make people think creatively though. It's kind of my favorite part.
Yeah. I think for a little bit what I ended up going with was basically randomly make up a puzzle and don't give it an actual solution. And then just when it feels right, Be like, yep, you guys got it. Good job.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to like I try not to make these like talk about myself, but I have to tell this story. Okay. I built this like whole thing that was the city of pleasure. So there's a desert oasis, and you go in there, and everything you possibly want is given to you. And that was a pretty cool thing. The session. I think I stole it from somebody, but the point is, they go into the map, and the map has this courtyard that has 4 statues around it. They were just completely decorative. And they were so convinced that was a puzzle. They spent like an hour pushing it. And I had to make up a puzzle on the fly because they were just so determined to solve the puzzle of the 4 statues.
That's amazing. That reminds me of one I've seen a couple different places. You've probably run across it. The one with the goblins behind the door chanting like a certain number.
Oh, I think I know this joke. Yes.
And it's like they're chanting 17, 17, and then the players look through the gap in the door and they get poked in the eye, and then it's 18, 18, 18.
Yes.
It's like that's not actually the riddle, you just got pranked. And especially if you know your players, that can be a really nice one.
Sometimes they will prank themselves. Like I know that like they'll be so suspicious of a random NPC that they'll go around in circles like trying to interrogate him. Next thing I know, they're casting Zone of Truth on this poor barrel salesman.
And you find out he is in fact a barrel smuggler, and you're like, well, yes, we have a new side plot.
New big bad evil guy, the Barrel King.
You went from a quest to an organized crime. Great. We are now playing Fantasy Untouchables.
Yep, it happens, and you never know like what they're gonna latch onto. I kind of like to like start mine with just a big zone map with a bunch of different things on it, and just see what they'll gravitate towards.
Mm-hmm. I think this one is just gonna lead us to circle back. I feel like we missed a turn somewhere.
We did. We didn't go far enough down the river. This map is, yeah. Do you include like I use Incarnate because I'm pretty casual, but what do you have maps with your TPRPGs?
I do. For the adventure I put on DM's Guild, I used Dungeon Draft to make some maps for that one. I use Wonder Draft primarily for world maps. But like my Genesis setting, the Diesel Punk, I'm not making maps for that one because nothing makes me cry more than trying to map a solar system or even like a quadrant of the galaxy.
Yeah, I have one player who gets on me because the geology in my maps makes absolutely no sense, and I'm like, well, I don't care. But a solar system is that times 100 million something.
Yep. So I'm like, no, I am not mapping this. I'm just going to use a regular Milky Way map because it is the Milky Way.
I feel like with maybe this is not so much with Diesel Punk, but with like fantasy genres, I feel like there should always be a point in your world building where it skips into the unknown or the wonder of it. That's just my personal like preference. I don't think it should ever be explained down to the atomic level, how magic works, you know? Where do you kind of fall on that hard versus soft spell?
I'm very much a soft magic, soft world building. No, not necessarily soft world building. I guess I'm just not overly concerned with like the physical elements. I'm much more interested in the people and the history and the cultures. So like Brandon Sanderson, hard magic, it's a no for me. I just can't get into it. It feels too much like a game, but not in a good way.
Yeah, I like that where there's this like I want to explain up to a point, and I want it to make sense and be consistent. But I kind of want there's this kind of jump where it takes you to that sense of something bigger than yourself that you can't quite grasp.
The numinous or the sublime, depending on which literary movement you're working on. Yeah, kind of that liminal space.
Yeah, but
Yeah. Yes, I'm definitely in that same boat. If I was doing a normal diesel punk, it wouldn't be a huge thing, but because it is a diesel punk space opera, that's one of the things I'm also working on is okay, how do we combine the sense of we know so much and then put it in the scope of, but compared to the galaxy, we know so little.
yeah. This is probably not at all accurate, but the thing when I think diesel punk that pops into my mind is actually the episodes of Voyager where Tom Paris is in the holodeck and he's playing that one character, and they've got like the 1950s aesthetic for the sci-fi. Have you ever seen those?
I haven't seen those ones. I'm not a huge Trekkie.
Yeah, Voyager was kind of my coming of age thing, but I'm also like I don't keep up with it. But
Yeah, that's
does it have the what how would you describe the aesthetic of your stories?
So for the Iron Horizons, which is the one of it's the big one, I would describe it as I'm very bad at visualizing things. So a little bit I think the best way I've ever described it is if technology after World War II never developed the transistor and never developed digital technology.
Is this cow okay? This cow does not look okay.
I mean, it did kind of just probably meet a Nazgul not too long ago, so.
Oh, poor cow.
Mhm. Yeah, I guess I'd describe it as analog future tech.
I like that. Analog stuff. Like my girls are all into analog horror, which I know is not the same thing, but it's
Right.
that whole retro. But now retro means the 1980s because everybody's old.
That's true.
I was getting into it with somebody. It's like when I was first starting in the indie market, I was told 90s can't be historical fiction, but now 90s qualifies as historical fiction to some people.
It does. I've run into a few books at the library I work at where they are in the 90s and they have the historical fiction sticker.
Yep. It's like we have lived long enough to become historical.
Yes, that we have.
I'm trying to think if there's anything really cool to do or see or poke around in here other than obviously like, Shire tourism.
I mean, sure, tourism is pretty solid. Golden Perch doesn't make an appearance in the movies. I'm pretty sure it makes an appearance in the books.
Yeah, a few are
I don't
mentioned.
remember.
I think the green dragon's obviously the biggest one, and the bird and the baby.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, the bird and the baby, and the writing group in the back.
Oh, I love that quest. It's so cute. You find a little dog.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need?
Yes, that one's a
Hello.
good one.
My favorite quest in this game is actually what's between Eriador and Dunland? I always forget that name.
Region? Cardolan?
Endwaith.
And Enidwaith, yeah.
I'm bad at saying things, so I do my own pronunciation. But you go into the forest and you have to like deal with the forest spirit, and there's like this puzzle, and it's actually really one of my favorite ones in this one.
Okay. 13 years, and I have not made it that far yet.
That's I have a max in this one. I've got a level 150 rune keeper.
Okay. My highest is in the vicinity of 50-ish. I've been in Forachel. I was in Angmar, and I'm like, this is not very fun in Angmar.
Angmar is my least favorite zone. I appreciate the aesthetic of it, how it's supposed to be evil and off-putting, but it is like they have this whine in the background of the soundtrack that actually makes me anxious.
Yes. Yes. Oh, that makes so much sense now. And like, I get Angmar was the original endgame area. So everyone was doing like their quests and their grinds and their big fellowship things. And I'm just like, I just want to play chill and solo. I don't want to need a fellowship to walk across the map.
Yeah. I will say like everybody gets really hard on Moria because it is a maze of a zone, but it's actually some pretty good story building. And actually, if you ever get into that level, and I think that comes right after that, and then you get into the Rohan zones, and the trip through Dunland is also really good.
Okay.
There's some really good higher level content here, and
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Just don't know how much more Forachel I can take.
Portugal, I really appreciate some parts of it. Like it's got one of the better like that Northern Lights sky, very beautiful.
Yes, that part is really nice.
So in my last level, I've got a minstrel who just made it into Moria. She did a little bit of Angmar, and she mostly just kind of goofed around in Eriador.
Okay.
So I think you can skip that if you really are strategic in what quests you do.
I will probably do that.
Also, the Misty Mountains. I've avoided Goblin Town this time because Goblin Town drives me absolutely insane.
I've heard that one is kind of rough. I think I've found very few people who actually went and did that one.
I had my runekeeper. I'm kind of being completionist on it, so even if she'll outlevel a zone, she'll later go back and try to get all the deeds. So I talk with her like she's a third person instead of just me playing her tune. But yeah, so she's got like almost anything that you can do solo because I don't like to group up if I don't have to.
Right.
And also like a couple of achievements that involve dexterity because I'm very bad at jumping. My daughters make fun of me because they call them obies, which is Roblox. It's like obstacle course games. I am so bad at those, and they like, Mom, you always fall off the platform. And it's true. I always fall off the platform.
Yeah. Platformers are a little rough.
So, of your short stories you've written, do you have a favorite?
Written or published?
That's up to you. I will count non-published stuff.
Okay, so one of the non-published ones I really like. It's in really bad shape, but I think it's conceptually really nice. It's in the post-Roman Britain setting, both fiction and 5e stuff, probably Legend in this, but it's set way in the past, and it essentially follows this young woman in what would be pre-Roman Britain. Her family village is suffering from a plague, and there's a Fey queen who lives at the top of this hill in Enchanted Wood, but no one has seen her in generations. And the water that would help with the plague has dried up, and so she has to go and try and make a bargain with this Fey queen, except the journey up the hill is kind of structured like the stages of grief, because the Fey Queen, of course, is immortal, and she had a human that she was in love with, and obviously he died. And so it's kind of like she's stuck in this frozen grief, and it has consequences for the people around her, including the descendants of the person she was in love with. And so I kind of really like that short story, but every time I try it turns into a mess.
I do love that trope though of like, going to see the strange fae or, creature to ask for a favor, and then the journey to that person becomes kind of a test.
Yes, definitely. And then like the journey is not really an external journey, it's more like you're traveling through the psyche in a lot of ways. That is a lot of fireworks.
Yeah, I think it's a festival. Like, what festival are we having right now?
Spring Festival.
That makes no sense.
Hello there. Might I
I
speak with you
I
a
feel like it
moment?
might be for the Southern Hemisphere people.
Okay.
That's my hunch, at least.
I was waiting for Christmas here because we're gonna have that big holiday thing, and I always go and do that.
Yes, the Yule, Wintertide, Yule. Yeah, I do like Frostbluff. And snowball fights, that's always a fun one.
Yeah, I have a hard time getting people to do the snowball fight with me. I'm always just sitting there shouting into chat, does anyone want to snowball fight me?
Yeah. The theater's fun, and I kind of like the little rivalry storyline going on between the people of Frostbluff and like the merchants.
I like doing the eating quest, the timed one where you have to run around and eat.
Yeah, the pie eating contests.
It's kind
Is
of
that
like
the
that.
thing?
It's the, oh gosh, I forget what they call it, but you start at the first table and you have to eat, and then you get the next table and you go slower
Yes.
each time.
Yes. Oh, I do remember that one. That one was a challenge.
It took a few times for me to figure out the mechanics of it, but once you know how to do it, it's just an issue of getting to it when not a lot of other people are doing it, because other people just ruin that one really quick.
They do. It's like, no, stop eating all the food.
These flowers do not look good. Lobella has not been taking care of her flowers.
No, she has not.
Of the dragon
She's
on the wall in here.
I was just gonna say she has an interesting taste in art.
So this has got to be some of Bilbo's stuff. She pretty much bought the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, I can't see Lobella having a dragon on the wall.
Yeah, neither. This one might actually be a character painting of list, actually.
You broke up a little bit there.
Just look at this one painting in the corner. How it looks kind of like a caricature of C.S. Lewis.
Oh, that could be, yeah. I assumed it was some, like, Hobbit relation.
Yeah. A lot of these paintings are very good.
Yeah, for some reason your mic just started doing really bad feedback.
Interesting. Is that any better?
A little bit.
How about now?
A little more. It's weird because you was fine up until then.
Any still feedback?
No, that's good. That sounds perfect.
Okay. 'Cause it should be filtering out everything but the voice, so I'm not sure what's going on there.
It was electronic, whatever it was. It wasn't like noise in the background. It was some sort of like electronic warble.
Huh. Could not guess.
Well, if we have time, let's head up to the, oh gosh, what is the name of the big thing in Link Evendim?
Numinos?
Hi, King's Crossing.
Oh, yes, King's Crossing.
give people a tour. I'd not enough people play this game. It's like kind of my little personal like. Do you know who Josh Strife is?
I don't think so.
He's a YouTuber who has a series called Every MMO Ever, where he just takes, he goes and plays like 3 hours of MMOs, and
Okay.
gives like his take on them and the story design and the player experience. And I was kind of like sitting there waiting and hoping that Lord of the Rings Online would get a good review because I'm like it's my little horse in the race of MMORPGs that I champion. It did get a good
Yeah.
review, yeah. Though of course it was crashing, which you know.
Yeah, of course it was. The 64-bit servers definitely helps, but it comes with their own issues.
Here we go.
Yeah.
This is one of the things up here. The Springfest has this challenge to drink a beer and then take a fence maze. I cannot do that for the life of me. It's the only thing that stands me between being full on the Springfest achievements or deeds.
Yes. That one is... Because, yeah, it gets all funky with each beer.
And like I said,
Yep.
jumping on things is kind of my Achilles heel.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's how I feel about the horse races.
The horse races took me a while, but then I eventually got the mechanics of them and I kind of figured it out. Like, I don't think I'll ever be able to do the maze jump one or the fence jump one.
Yeah, do you remember a long time ago when roof racing was the big thing to do in Bree?
No, I missed that. But that
Okay.
sounds hilarious because I can kind of imagine doing that.
It was before they'd walled everything off with the invisible walls. And so there was a couple places where you could kind of jump up onto different things and get on the roofs of all the buildings in Bree. Like you could get to the roof of the Prancing Pony, and you could literally just travel Bree on the rooftops. But if you fell, you would end up in a place that was not supposed to have a character access, so you couldn't move. So you'd just be stuck.
So a while back, I found I haven't looked it up again. It's probably not there anymore because I can't see how this video would survive copyright challenges. But somebody had posted literally his Lord of the Rings Online character just walking at walking pace through all the zones while the Fellowship of the Rings audiobook played in the background.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was really cool. I'm sure it's been taken down now because there's no way you could keep that up.
Yeah, probably
A
not.
lovely day, isn't it?
And this one we can kind of just stay on the roads.
Yeah, that helps.
So, is the saga your main focus right now?
It is, yes. It's the one my brain is currently hyperfixated on, so that's my current project determiner. And then the diesel pump space opera just got a little too relevant. I'm like, maybe I don't need to do this right now.
Yeah, I tend to be a serial monogamist with my projects. Like for a long time, I would have one focus, and then I would write on it until it was done, and then I would move on to the next one. And then I hit the superhero stuff, and for some reason, that hasn't let me go for about 5 years now. So apparently, that's all I can write now.
Okay. I won't lie, I would definitely not mind getting stuck on a project for 5 years. A single project for 5 years.
It has its advantages for sure.
It does. My brain bounces around too much for it, unfortunately.
Here we are. Like, we're getting chased by a spider. I'm gonna kill the spider. Oh, he's...
Sure?
Nope, never mind.
Level
He's 30. Whoops. This was a mistake. I have made a horrible mistake. Run!
I'm trying.
How do you do?
I forgot how high level this zone was.
It's
Okay, I'm
a
safe.
weird one because you're technically still in the Shire,
Yeah.
but even this deer is level 30 and has more health than I do.
This was our riskiest venture yet. I had almost thought when we started this, I should say we should go to Rivendell. I'm like, ah, no, that's too dangerous. We'll never make to Rivendell. But would probably been more of an interesting video just watching us die over and over again.
Yeah. Like, I don't think the Lone Lands wouldn't be terrible, but the fells, I think, would be more challenging because they're so narrow.
Yeah, and there's a lot of animals and like monsters right up on the road up to Rivendell, especially like if you're going up the hill past the ford.
Yeah, and there's trolls on those roads too.
Only at night.
Only at night. Okay. Good to know.
I will say this is one of my favorite zones too because I spent a lot of time here. I don't even remember why. I'm one of my characters just running around. And I love the lake, and I love going into that Animaeus sometimes. It's a fun zone, I think.
Numinas, and yeah.
I have this thing where I almost never say anything in fantasy books.
I really do
Right.
appreciate the history that they put into stuff, like Cardalin, Arnor, and the way they integrated all those.
Did you ever do the Before the Shadows start zone that they added in with the new level to level 30 content?
Yeah.
It's very good. I enjoyed that. It was nice to have something new to do on a new character. But yeah, there's some really.
I think you may have cut out.
Oh, I was just saying the new Before
Or
the
I cut out.
Shadows.
I'm not sure which.
It was probably me. I was just saying the new Before the Shadows content where you go through Swanfleet and Cardalon and all that is really good. Can you hear me?
No. Call is still ongoing.
That's weird. I wonder if my
not
internet
sure
is
what's
having
up.
an issue. I'm actually going to listen to the feed and see if I'm picking up there.
Okay. So yeah, you just kind of disappeared there for a bit.
We have Starlink, which means that sometimes it switches satellites. I'm actually gonna listen to the...
Yeah, that makes sense. Like it drops. Okay.
We are getting
Okay.
about to an hour mark, though, so... Oh, crud. Monster!
The swamp monster.
Let's try to get to High King's Crossing, and then maybe we can call it a night.
Yeah. We're almost there. We just went through a level even higher than the Barrow Downs. Oh, that's a big drop.
Don't fall! No!
Yeah.
I'm gonna run down the cliff face. I think I can make it from this angle. Okay.
See, every time I say that, I end up not doing it.
Where are you? Don't die.
I'm not a skier, so I took the bunny slope.
Gotcha. Okay. We're almost there. Let's climb to the top, and that's a good place to log off with a great vantage point.
Yep.
All right, so just before we end the stream, I'm going to remind people that I still have a Kickstarter running for the Bouncing Back superhero novel, which you can find a link in the description if you watch this, if you got this far.
What can I do for you?
Yeah. I just got the dangerous places pop up.
Oh, can you not do the rope until you have the quest? That sucks. I was hoping we could climb the rope.
Oh, yeah. I think it's the quest.
Ah, well, this is still a good place to line off. We could just, like, enjoy the scenery, I guess. Well, thank you for joining me. It was fun.
It was, absolutely. I'll send you a link to the setting doc as well.
Awesome. I will take that. Check that out. I'm always like looking for things to do for my Dungeons and Dragons group too. It's kind of like my second job at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always trying to get people into Genesis, so. All right.
All right. Well, have a good night. And I'm going to end the stream. Thank you, everybody. Bye.